race number 2. But coming up next, IMCA Northern Sport Mods getting ready to push off.
6 cars for heat race number 1 for the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. On the point, he hails from Bakersfield, California. The Victory Circle chassis, number 99B, it's Paul Brown. To his outside, about the 3rd time behind the wheel of an IMCA Northern Sport Mod, also from Bakersfield, California. Driving the number 1 in machine, it's Nicholas Johnson. Inside of row number 2, the 03 machine of Matthew Pyrotic from Atascadero, California. To the outside, he calls Santa Maria home, the 15F of Matthew Frazier. Inside of row number 3, the director of operations right here at the Santa Maria Speedway is a 37 machine of Chad Weber. And to his outside, last time's winner, the 18th C of Chris McKellar. Inside of row number 4, in the Razor chassis number 17A machine, that is Adam Baker. And to his outside from Paso Robles, California, the 14 of Rich Denman. That is your 8 cars going 8 laps here for IMCA Northern Sport Mod Heat Race number 1.
This is going to be a fun one out here. We've got some seasoned vets towards the back, and I know they don't want to stay there in this race. As Rich Denman, Adam Baker, Chad Weber all back towards the back. They're going to be looking to make their way up there along with Chris McKellar. But then you've got a kid who's basically grown up behind a wheel in Nicholas Johnson in the 1N machine. I think he had a steering wheel in his hand at birth, because the only time I've ever seen that kid is in a race car.
Nicholas Johnson, well known in dirt track racing. The Johnson family, indeed, were all well known through the years of dirt oval racing here in California. The young man's picked up 2 championships at the Bakersfield Speedway here in 2025. As we are locked and loaded, lights are out, ready to rock and roll here off of turn number 4. 2 Bakersfield boys on the front row. Paul Brown and Nicholas Johnson, green flags in the air.
Green flags in the air as they're heading into turn number 1. Nicholas Johnson on the high side, able to diamond off that track and move up to the point. Here comes Baker boy down on the bottom. Adam Baker able to cut 3 spots there up into the top 5.
Nicholas Johnson, the 1N machine, leads lap number 1. Paul Brown, the number 2 spot, the 15F machine of Matthew Frazier running 3rd. Adam Baker side by side battling with the 18C of Chris McKellar. McKellar has to turn the wheel to the left, stay off the 15 machine off of 2.
Frazier getting a little loose as Baker goes to the bottom of him, trying to make a move for that 3rd spot. But right now, it's still Johnson, Brown, Frazier, Baker, 1, 2, 3, and 4. McKellar slips up. Here comes Rich Denman into the bottom. Speaking of a wheelman, Rich Denman's raced everything from mini stocks all the way up to the Outlaw 600 in Texas, or the Lone Star 600. So if he got a wheel and a motor, he'll try to race it out there. He's battling with Chris McKellar right now for the 5th spot. Problem up front. Brown gets way loose, has to check up in front of everybody. McKellar does a heck of a job avoiding that one.
Heads up, moving the 18C machine. Able to somehow, some way stay off the 99. Oh, problems for McKellar off at 2. Mistake number 2 for the 18C of Chris McKellar. The caution flag will fly, and that will do it. 1 and done here for Chris McKellar.
I'm not sure that is a mistake as much. It might have been a part issue, because knowing Chris, I've known the way he drives, he doesn't make that same mistake twice unless something's broke. So hopefully whatever it is, if it was, mental break or physical break, I'm sure he'll get it ready for the main event tonight.
Oh, he'll have that thing ready to rock and roll indeed. There's just a bit of a slick spot right there, right underneath the Dunn Edwards paint sign. Coming off of turn number 2. A lot of traction above it and below it, but right through the middle of it. It's a little bit slick. He went from the really good stuff and found a slick spot and got it a little bit sideways there. So he'll get that thing rocking and rolling for the feature here tonight. As the lineup is good, ready to go back to green off of turn number 4.
Nicholas Johnson going to be leading the way. Matthew Frazier right there with him, as well as Adam Baker, bumper to bumper as they hit the green flag. And we start racing once again. Heat race number 1, IMCA Northern Sport Mods.
Great restart from the 15 of Frazier. You can see that little slick spot. It kicks the right rear out a little bit for the 15F machine. Loses a little ground to the 1N of Nicholas Johnson. Johnson's got that right rear right in the good stuff there in 3 and 4. Leads lap number 5. 5 down, 3 laps remain. Frazier a little bit better once again, but slips the grip again off of turn number 2. The 1N of Nicholas Johnson able to keep that thing nice and straight off of 2. That's where he's gaining all of his ground, but here comes Frazier once again in the 15F.
Nicholas Johnson in that one, and running an IMCA stock cars has really helped him with this IMCA Sport mod. Being able to get that car to load up on that right rear, definitely get the weight transfer in there, because white flags out, 1 lap to go. He's still leading the way. Matthew Frazier second, Adam Baker third, Rich Denman fourth, Paul Brown fifth, and Chad Weber round out your running order. Chad Weber trying to go to the inside of Brown to make up a spot as the checker flag waves for Nick Johnson.
Nicholas Johnson picking up his heat race win in the one-in machine. Frazier in the number 2 spot. Adam Baker comes home third. Fourth goes to the 14 machine of Denman. Chad Weber and the 99 of Paul Brown. So, big storylines for the 18C of Chris McKellar, the American Wheel Control and Safety, Stevenson Suspension. Slinging Dirt Victory Circle chassis number 18C. He's going to have to start the back of the feature.
Looking at the rear end of that 18 machine, there definitely looks like there might be something not very happy with that car right now. But Chris will get after it. Him and his team will make sure that thing's ready for the main event. But heat race number 2 coming out on the track. 8 more cars, 8 more laps. IMCA Northern Sport Mods. The lineup is inside row number 1 from Pismo Beach, the 43K of Landon King. On his outside, the 14W Willie Othout. Row number 2's got the 30H of Orion Messina. And on the outside, the 29T of Talon Mulvey. Inside row number 3, it's got the 75 of Cameron Powderwack. And on his outside, the 71, Aaron Farrell. Row number 4, it's got a pair of 11s back there, the 11B of Brian Baker from Bakersfield. And your current points leader, Danny Wagner, in the 11D machine.
So a lot of good ones in this one here, Landon King. Been very impressed with that young man indeed. Do believe 13 years of age for Landon King out of Pismo Beach, California.
Got a nickname of King Kong. So, you know, if you got a nickname at that age of King Kong, you know that guy's not afraid to ruffle some feathers and get out there and run with the big boys.
So, got to get them all lined up in the correct starting positions. Landon King, Willie Othout, Orion Messina, Talon Mulvey, Cameron Powderwack, Aaron Farrell, Brian Baker, and Danny Wagner. So we got to get Landon King, the young gun, down on the inside of that front row. For some reason, he looks like he thinks he's on the outside. So we'll see if we can get the race receivers. That is the one-way communication between our officials and the drivers. Say, cross him up, let's get him going. He was still up there packing that cushion. That's where he might want to put that King Concrete number 43 machine, but he's got to start on the inside of the front row.
So Landon's got some fun with that 43 machine. He's running a sport mod tonight. Next week he'll be running a wing QRC. Then he's going back to sport mod and a couple other cars running I believe an IMCA style, like whatever he can get into, he's going to try to run. Lights are out on the track. You know what that means? We are racing.
A little rubbing between Landon King and the 14W, Willie Othout coming across the line. No harm, no foul. You can see that slick spot once again, almost get the 43 of Landon King, but he's able to hold on to it. Rocket into turns 3 and 4. Round goes Othout into 3 and 4.
That is not the way you want to be facing on a racetrack. Your nose is supposed to be going with the flow of traffic, not looking at everybody's front bumper. But he's able to get it gathered. We're still green flag racing. As your leader, Landon King in the 43K machine.
They're nose to tail from third on back. That is Orion Messina in the 30H machine. Someone going way high. That's the 75 of Cameron Powderwack. But man, still a good, great battle going on between the 28, the 29 of Talon Mulvaney, the 29 of Mulvaney, the 75 of Cameron Powderwack, and the 71 of Aaron Farrell. Landon King almost, we got Othout around again, once again to 3 and 4.
Yeah, there's definitely some slick spots out here that these guys are trying to avoid, but trying to avoid those means you start to develop different spots. Out here is Landon King definitely trying to motor all the way around as he's leaving that left rear in the air all the way through 1 and 2. doing it again through 3 and 4.
Cool to see the little spoke styles rim on the 43K machine, that left front tire being carried through the majority of the corner. You can see it stop right there as it gets real tight off of turn number 2. Keeps it off the fence somehow, some way. Coming to the line with 2 to go.
2 laps remaining as they come to the line. Landon King is running out of real estate on that high side. And here comes that 30 of Orion Messina, looking to pounce any chance he gets.
Messina still in the number 2 spot. Coming to the white flag this time by Landon King, 4 corners away from heat race win number 2.
Landon King going very tight through 1 and 2 that time. Hangs it up in 3 and 4, riding the cushion, and he's going to ride it to victory as we got one around. That's Brian Baker in the 11B machine. Goes around at the start-finish line, or in turn 4, right before the start-finish line. That's really going to, unfortunately, hurt his starting spot for the main event.
That's right. He was running about that 3rd position as the gets it wrong and it turns 3 and 4. So that will do it for heat race number 2 for the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. Now lining up and making their way, reporting to the racetrack, will be the California 305 Regional Sprint Cars.